discover, and be inspired today by our true friends in Christ. Introducing another edition of The Saints and Us, true friends sharing the true faith. Your host is Serbian-American Orthodox author and artist, Arijan Trofanović Montemuro. St. Nikolai Velimirovic reminds us of our treasured friendship with saints by saying, "A true friend prays to God for his friends. A true friend cares about the salvation of a friend's soul, to draw a friend back from false ways and set him on the true path. That is a precious friendship. The saints of God are man's greatest friends." Now, it's time to pour yourself a cup of tea or coffee and let us sit down together to listen and meet another holy friend of ours in Christ.
Welcome, everyone. We have a special program today. Many of you have heard of or have even been to Holy Cross Monastery in Wayne, West Virginia. It is an English-speaking male monastery under the jurisdiction of the Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia in the Diocese of Eastern America and New York. It is a rapidly growing, secluded monastery located on 180 acres of land in the beautiful foothills of the Appalachian Mountains of West Virginia. Today we'll be discussing the new church being built there, which is a much-needed church. In fact, they have currently outgrown their old church. Let me introduce our Orthodox Christian friend, Andrew Gould. He has been called America's foremost Orthodox church designer. He has an architectural design studio in Charleston, South Carolina, and my daughter and myself were blessed to meet him there last summer. If I were to describe Andrew, from my heart, I would say he is a lover of true beauty. Welcome, Andrew, and we're so happy to talk with you today about the new monastery church project at Holy Cross Monastery in Wayne, West Virginia.
Thank you, Arijan. I'm delighted to be here.
Well, so Andrew, I have been wondering, here's my very first question. How is it that you in particular became involved and or were selected to do the church design for Holy Cross Monastery's new church?
Well, my relationship with Holy Cross Monastery goes back a few years to another project, the design of a shrine for the Royal Martyrs. This project was initiated in 2017, and I think my personal connection probably started with that monastery because a close friend of mine, a parishioner at my church in Charleston, moved there and became a monk. He's now known as Father Damascene at that monastery, and he himself was a collector of antiques and a great enthusiast for art and Russian history, and he became involved in the planning of this project for a shrine of the Royal Martyrs. Holy Cross Monastery had been given by the Moscow Patriarchate an important set of relics of the Royal Martyrs, and they felt that they should build a proper reliquary and shrine to display them for veneration in the chapel in time for the 100th anniversary of their martyrdom, which was coming up in the summer of 2018. So the monastery chose to hire me to design and have made this shrine. It turned into quite a substantial project. I would say it was probably more work than designing an entire church, because it evolved into a very, very fine and intricate piece of furniture, all crafted out of Honduran mahogany and copiously decorated with marquetry inlay and sterling silver mounts, and custom painted icons and custom carved icon for the reliquary lid and inlaid mother of pearl. I think there can be little doubt that it is the most exquisite piece of Orthodox liturgical furniture ever made in our country.
Yes, Andrew, don't you think that a lot of people don't even know about it there? That it's there?
Well, I'm sure many don't. So of course, if you visit the monastery, it's there in their chapel, and you can venerate the relics there, and you can see some very good pictures of it on my own website, newworldbyzantine.com, and you can also read an extensive article about the project on the Orthodox Arts Journal.
That's wonderful. Do you mind just saying your website one more time for our listeners?
It's newworldbyzantine.com.
Great. Well, that is my dream. Hopefully it won't be much longer that I'll be able to make it out there and be able to visit that shrine. I've seen pictures, and even the pictures are breathtaking. And there was I believe of course we know Jonathan Pagot, and there was another woman iconographer, right? She was Russian?
Yes, Natalia Aglitskaya.
Yes. So just beautiful. People will enjoy going to your website and reading and seeing the photographs. Now, so that's how your relationship was established with the monastery. So because of that relationship, they asked you to design the church. Where are we as far as, can you tell me how far along you are or they are in construction? Just elaborate a little bit more on the construction process and timing and budget.
Sure. So their chapel is awfully small there, and they've been growing quickly. So they've been thinking for many years now that they need to build a proper Catholicon. And as I was working on the shrine project, they were so pleased with the quality of the work that they started thinking that they would like me to design the church. So they told me that they wanted me to deliver the shrine in person, so that when I was there for that visit, they could talk to me about doing the church also. And so back in 2018, I met with Abbot Seraphim for several hours, and we started working up a floor plan for a church that would meet their needs functionally. And then some more time passed, and eventually they contracted with me to actually design the whole building. And that was completed some months ago, and you can see some renderings of that, and also read an article about the process on the Orthodox Arts Journal. And I'm very excited about the design. It's a fairly large church, and it's really exceptionally beautiful. I think if it's built correctly, I think it'll be without rival among Orthodox churches built in recent years, at least in our country. So right now we are kind of proceeding from conceptual design into design development. We've got a general contractor on board, we've got engineers on board, and I'm now working on developing up the construction drawings. And we're hoping to move forward into construction rather expediently. Hopefully later this summer,
right.
We can start getting permits and at least get the foundation poured, maybe the whole basement built this fall, and right. be in good shape for really going vertical and getting the whole thing built next year.
That's wonderful. I wasn't sure if the foundation was poured yet or anything. Has the ground been cleared?
Yeah, they actually prepared the building pad for the church a number of years ago. It's their monastery is in what they call a holler in Appalachia. It's a narrow mountain valley, and all of their wooden buildings kind of form a horseshoe around the terminus of this holler. It's really very beautiful setting. And there's one good solid level piece of property kind of right in the center of it all that they prepared years ago to build the church upon. And just last year they did a considerable amount of earth moving and retaining wall construction to further stabilize this pad so it can support a big heavy masonry building. So they're in good shape to be ready to start the foundation as soon as the engineering work is done.
Well, I loved speaking with our mutual friend Shelley and she was talking about the fundraising for this holy project. She said something I really loved. She said, Ariane, it's not just 4 walls that are being built here. This is a legacy for future generations. And, Andrew, you're a father, and you can see how this is a project that's going to stand the test of time. Anything personally you might want to add about why this is such an important holy temple in the United States in particular, especially it's English speaking. So many of us who, people like me who's first generation, or people that converted to Orthodoxy whose main language is English, we can actually go there in our future generations and help preserve the Orthodox faith. One visit can change a heart. Anything you want to add about that and why it's important to donate? Personal thoughts you might have?
Sure. Well, the monastery is a very special place. It's although it is Russian in tradition and in Rokor, it is primarily converts who are there. And so it is completely English speaking and has a very welcoming, friendly American attitude towards converts. It's an absolutely delightful place to visit. It's a beautiful natural setting. And of course the place is thriving and growing quickly. They're trying to reach a target capacity of 50 monastics.
Wow.
Yes, and they already have almost that many. The only reason they can't welcome more at this time is that they're simply physically full. They need this new church in order to be able to even fit any more monks in, and they have a considerable waiting list. So,
right. Could this be one of the fastest growing monasteries in the U.S. possibly?
Yes, it certainly has been, because it's not very old,
right.
and it has already grown to be dramatically larger than any other monastery of a Russian background, at least, that we have in America. So yeah, it is in many ways the sort of the showpiece of monasticism in America that right. I would point people to as a great success. Right. and a truly delightful place to visit.
That's a beautiful description, a showpiece of monasticism in the U.S.
Yes, because it really shows that monasticism in the U.S. need not be a sort of island of foreign culture, the way many of our monasteries are. This place is completely a product of American culture in terms of the background of the people who are there, the style of their architecture, their gardening, their location in rural West Virginia. Everything about it kind of represents Orthodoxy, very, very, very gracefully assimilated into American culture.
The American ethos.
Yes, yeah, and I thought it was very important with my design for the Royal Martyrs Shrine that it expressed that it be every bit as much in the tradition of colonial American furniture design and furniture construction as it is tied to Russian Orthodox liturgical furniture, and you'll see that in the design. Although it has some Russian motifs to it, the actual way it's made, the quality with which it's built, it's much more closely related to really fine 18th century American furniture than anything you would find in Russia. And I wanted to do the same with the architecture of the new church. Although it is recognizably Russian Orthodox, it also draws a lot from Western Romanesque architecture and from the great American church building traditions of the 19th and early 20th centuries. And I think any well-informed American who visits and sees that church will feel well at home there. They'll see that this is an American expression of Orthodox liturgy. It's not a perfectly Russian design that's just transplanted to West Virginia.
And feeling well at home can not only convert many hearts to Orthodoxy, but also confirm and strengthen so many hearts. And the beauty you design, that's why I loved thinking of that short introduction, is the lover of beauty, because beauty is, something that we have to understand in our own format. And I love that you explained that about the shrine for the Holy Royal Martyrs, that you made something that has the American ethos, so to speak. So it's more approachable. At least I can see from my perspective how that would be more approachable. So this church has that same formatting. That's really, really beautiful. And, Andrew, I am so grateful that you came today and you were describing the beauty and also the resources. People can go to the website you mentioned and they can read more about the church and they can see more and learn more about it and also come to the shrine. And your thoughts have really enlightened us today. We have enjoyed listening to every minute. We feel so blessed to hear these updates about this beautiful church being built. And through the prayers of Saint Xenia and Saint Panteleimon, may many, many people become inspired to donate to the Holy Cross Monastery Church Construction Fund. And I hope everyone today not only checks out the website that Andrew mentions, but also goes to holycross.org and look at the construction fund write-up. You'll see a lot there and a picture. And it's not just a building, like we mentioned, with 4 walls that you all will be contributing to. It's the construction of a holy temple where monks will be ceaselessly praying for the world, for you, me, and our future generations. We have to remember exactly what we're building. We're building God's kingdom and fulfilling our own salvation. These godless times in the world are frightening, and we're all anxious and afraid. However, we can all find comfort in knowing that the monks at Holy Cross Monastery are praying for us and the entire world. So let's be inspired today by the good works of Saint Xenia and donate. Let's get this monastery church built. Let's help donate to the Church Construction Fund today. And Andrew, thank you so much, and we look forward to speaking with you again soon. We really appreciate your time, Andrew.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ariane.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in today. Remember, a friendship with the saints of God will always keep you on the true path. May our patron Saint Matrona pray to God to keep you and your family safe from all evil, invisible and visible. To learn more and listen to a library of our podcasts, visit our website, fellowshipofsaintmatronatheblind.com. Ariane's books are also available at amazon.com. God bless you all.